change up this noise, make sweet harmony. Come on and rise, oh rise, spirit rise up, rise in me. Oh, oh, rise, rise, spirit rise up, rise in me, rise in me. Heart to heart, hand in hand, no turning back, onward to promised land. Do you feel the power of 1,000 suns lighting up the dark? Oh, we rise as one. Love's calling, calling out your name. Love's calling. That's why we came. Love's calling, calling out the name. Love's calling. It's why we came. Come on and rise, rise, spirit rise up, rise in me. Oh, rise, come on and rise. Oh, spirit rise up, rise in me. Rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up. Come on and rise up. Come on, lift your hands up, jump, reach for the sky, go up high, higher, yeah. Rise up. Come on, raise your voice and shout. Love is alive, we're bringing the light brighter, brighter. Rise up. Come on, lift your hands up, jump, reach for the sky, go up high, higher, yeah. Rise up. Come on, raise your voice and shout. Love is alive, we're bringing the light brighter, brighter. Rise up. Come on and rise up.
Good morning. We are anything. We're nothing if we're not flexible, right? So as we have changes occur and things happen, like Huron had to go out of town to help a friend whose sister made her transition. And so we as a community come together and we rise. So let's do that together right now as we open up our service this morning here at Unity of Wichita and here on Unity's Facebook page and our YouTube channel. Good morning. Today I rise. Thank you. Yeah, you can stand up. You can stand up. So let's affirm together. Today I rise. Today I rise. Today I am whole. Today I am whole. And finally, today I am alive. Today I am alive. Are you sure? Let's try again. You ready? Like, seriously, let's know it together. Today I am alive. Today I am alive. Thank you. Good morning, Miss Patty.
And good morning, Sam, and good morning, Unity of Wichita. I'm happy to be back. I am Patty Yoon. I will be your platform leader today. Sam Jones will be Sharing today's message, the music will be by various artists, and Eleanor Ferris will be sharing our meditation and affirmations. Let's give them all a hand. Fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. Our greatest desire is that you are inspired by the music, the message, the meditation. You are a blessing to us. September is the month of order, the power of the month of order. And that is the order, that is the power to organize, to sequence, to balance, and to adjust. And that's what we're doing. We're balancing and adjusting, which is awesome. So with that power of order, let's say together our mission statement. Inspiring spiritual transformation as a vibrant, diverse, and inclusive community. And with that same power of order, let's say together our statement of being. There is only one presence and one power in my life and in the universe. God of good. Oh, man. Oh, my gosh. It's so, the power is wonderful. The love is wonderful. We are so blessed to be here together on this beautiful day, here in the sanctuary and at home, Facebook, and our YouTube channel. We welcome all of you. We especially want to welcome those of you who are here for the very first time. If you're here in the sanctuary, you can connect with Sam Jones or Art Handy. If you're at home, give us a call at the church or send us an email. We would love to be more connected with you of all the activities that are going on in this church and our community. We just welcome you. We invite you to take in our information and our spiritual teachings wherever you may be on your spiritual journey. Unity is a worldwide ministry dedicated to the ongoing awareness of the Spirit within all. And we just embrace all of you this morning with love. Let's now bless everyone who is connected here today. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the Christ as you, just as you are.
Good morning. Okay, before we go into our moment of prayer, quick order of love. I want to acknowledge someone here who's very special to us. We have a resident Olympic athlete, Donald Graves, and once again he stand up, Donald. Once again, he takes home the hardware, and this time in bowling. So congratulations, Donald. Thank you very much. And we here at Unity of Wichita, we also join with our fellow Americans in commemorating the 20th anniversary of the terrible attacks that we suffered on 9/11. And so in the spirit of commemoration, we want to know a world of peace. So in this moment, we will just take a brief moment to settle ourselves and really allow ourselves to be aware in this moment that the divine is fully and completely present at every point in space, which includes right where we are. We open and avail ourselves to that divine presence and know that it is our true nature. We know that it is the true nature of all beings. And because the divine is fully and completely present everywhere, all that is in God is present as love, peace, understanding, order, wisdom. And because the divine is fully and completely present everywhere, we know peace. We know peace in our world. We know peace in our lives. We know peace within ourselves. We resonate in the vibration of peace. We resonate in the vibration of wholeness. For we know as wholeness grows, as peace grows, we know that human relations get better. We know that people grow and aspire to their greatest and grandest expression. And we know that when this happens, and as this happens, and it is happening right now, the world knows a greater sense of love, beauty, and peace. And in the name and in the nature of the Christ within, together we say, and so it is. Amen.
Good morning, friends. New faces I see, familiar ones too. This morning, these are the affirmations and meditation offering that I have for you. So if you'll repeat each affirmation after me together. I am divine while I grieve. I am divine while I grieve. Every emotion I experience is allowed. Every emotion I experience is allowed. I let harmony with love heal this self. I let harmony with love heal this self. I am love and cannot fail at loving this self. I am love and I cannot fail at loving this self. Oh, the chorus, the harmony you radiate. Thank you. And with perfect love from us as us, let us take 3 deep breaths to sink into our peace within. This is the still point of both the collective and the oneness. I am fully human and I am fully divine. Take these truths into your heart. I am a child of the infinite. I am an heir of, because I am comprised of God. Every human emotion I experience is here to be explored, understood, and released by my Christed mind. I experience love by way of the benevolence of divine order. Breathe. Order. The order of myself, of this body, is to grow, learn, heal, thrive, and transition. When I feel I am out of divine order, I get out of the way and let order play its harmony so loudly in my ear that I cannot help but heal. Healing only requires love, the energy of the order of the universe. order is in source. There is order in life, and life is an idea of the divine. There is order in love, and love is an idea of the divine. We are the idea of source, which is critical to feel and know because ideas are the currency of source. Each unique snowflake's idea of manifestation was an outpicturing of the perfect order of water in demonstration. The idea each leaf that grows, shines, and falls has its pattern in the order of the seed. I am the perfect idea of the order of God. Loving myself is loving God. I am one with the benevolent mission of God as love. I cannot fail at loving this self. I love myself as I am God. And so it is.
Everything is sacred. Everything is filled with the divine. Everything is alive with spirit, with spirit. Everything is a wonder, unfolding right before our eyes. Everything is alive with spirit, with spirit. Everything is a blessing, bursting from the earth and sky. Everything is alive with spirit, with spirit. Everyone is sacred. Everyone is filled with the divine.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Oh my goodness, what a delightful morning it is. This is one of my favorite songs, and as I'm sitting there and tears are rolling down my face, I'm thinking, oh gosh, that's right, we're live streaming. Good morning. So today we are talking about grief. Last week we talked about the grief of and the myths of grief and beginning the mapping process. How many of you have experienced mapping grief before? So the process of mapping grief is looking back at our childhood and seeing the ways that we were modeled and coached into dealing and coping with those difficult emotions that we know as grief. It's not easy. So the other part that we talked about was the myths of grief. You know, that you're supposed to isolate, don't let anybody see you cry, be strong. Oh, and that there's these different phases of grief that upon further investigation we find out are actually stages of death versus stages of grief, and that makes so much more sense. So as we explore what the definition is of grief one more time, let's just go back to it from from John James and Russell Friedman. It's the conflicting emotions caused by the end of or a change in a familiar behavior pattern. Boy, we can all relate to that right now, can't we? All of us. There's been change after change after change. Sometimes those changes occur so quickly that we don't realize that it's happened until we've gone past it. Does that sound familiar, especially for the last year and a half? Those things happen without us even knowing it sometimes. And so we can simplify that definition by saying that it's just simply the normal and natural reaction to change or loss of any kind. We can even simplify it further, and we can turn to the wise and masterful Albus Dumbledore. Yay! For those of you who don't know, Albus Dumbledore is the headmaster of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry from Harry Potter. But he simply says, grief is love. Now, if you're not familiar with Harry Potter, which I don't know how anybody could not be familiar with Harry Potter at this point, but if you're not, let me inform you. So Harry Potter is a young man who was adopted by his aunt and uncle begrudgingly when his very unusual, strange, unique, very much in tune with superpowers, witch and wizard father died. So he's an orphan. And his aunt and uncle are very abusive, and they hide him in the cupboard under the stairs. And it's just overall a pretty yucky situation. So he gets this miraculous invitation to go to Hogwarts, and all kinds of adventure ensues. But what winds up happening is that through all of these books, this whole 7-book series, is Albus Dumbledore is teaching Harry how to live without his family, without his parents, how to grieve in a way that supports his healing. Now, healing, if you recall, the process of healing is the return or the embrace of what? Wholeness. That's right. The return to wholeness, that knowing that we are never separate, We are always in our wholeness with the divine presence, with Creator, with Source, with God. So, as we look at this process of healing, it has to include love, doesn't it? Grief is love. Grief is evidence of love. Whether it is the loss of your job, your partner, your friendship, your faith, each one of these, as we grieve it, as we process that loss, is the evidence that we have loved something in that loss. So there is this wonderful minister, Unity minister, named Reverend Ogun Holder. And if you don't know who he is a rising star, and you want to know who he is. So he had this a very unique experience for his age. I guess it's not really unique. A lot of people experience it. But his wife was diagnosed with cancer, and she made her transition at a very young age, and it was a really difficult experience, as one might imagine. So he contributed to this booklet from Unity World Headquarters called Grief is a Spiritual Practice. And he says this: the truth is, when we grieve, we're not waiting to feel love again. Love is waiting on us to embrace it fully. But isn't that how it feels when we're in the thick of it? Whether, as I said, whether it's that we're grieving the shifts and changes within our own spiritual community, or it's that we're grieving the shifts and changes within our relationships, our jobs, or, in fact, if we're grieving the loss of a loved one or a dear friend in death. Grief is the process of waiting to be ready to embrace love again. That power of love, the law, the divine law of love, is waiting for us to step forward and realize it once more. There is the famous, usually King James Version is what we hear. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for thou art with me. And in the Revised New Standard Version, which is the typical Unity Bible to go to, it says, even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Love. A synonym for God. Yes? You've heard that. God is love. Love, this spiritual law that cannot change, it doesn't move, it is here with us always, this power of love. When we start thinking about our grief, no matter what loss we're reacting to, isn't this the perfect visual? That you're walking through this valley. I like the valley in the shadow of death because it indicates that it's barren, that it's deserted, it's lonely. And every valley has mountains beside it, doesn't it? So it likens this image of being in isolation. But as we unpack these images in a metaphysical way, we start seeing that that valley, that space that we're walking is indicative of a lower level of consciousness. We are not as connected to our divine source as we are in this valley. However, all around us is the opportunity, is the message that there is a higher level of consciousness, there is a higher level of connection to our true selves, our true nature, our humanness, and our divinity. So, these are some of the paths to mapping our grief. As we get into the methods of processing grief, and these are taken from the Grief Recovery Handbook. I shared this with you last week. This is written by John James and Russell Friedman. And while I'm no expert in grief, I've experienced it a lot. But this book has been an extraordinary tool to support the processing of grief so that we can, or I can, fully embrace love once more. And so one of the things that I want to share with you today is one of the methods demonstrated in this book for processing through grief. And it is a timeline. It's a graph of your grief. So because it's a shared experience, I'm going to use COVID very loosely, okay? Each one of us have a different experience through the last year and a half, but some of these are shared. So on this timeline, hopefully you can see it. I don't know if the letters are big enough, but all the way over here in the far left, it says COVID-19 in the news. Do you remember that? In December and January, they started saying there's this weird virus, and then all of a sudden the WHO said, it's a pandemic. I remember having that conversation with the assistant here. She said, oh my gosh, they said it was a pandemic. And I said, yeah. And we were meeting in small groups, and we had women's group, and we were gathering together. We had just started a small group ministry called Spirit Groups, and we were in our very first session, and it was so much fun. And then they were like, and you got to go home. They closed down Sedgwick County. They closed down the schools and the preschools. Then parents got to start working from home. Now, you'll notice that some of these are listed above the line and some below. So as you might imagine, those listed above the line are things that may have had a positive impact. So Sedgwick County shutdown is above the line, but it's more above the line because it just happened. Not positive or negative, it just happened. But then we go on to see that school from home. Now, I don't know how many of you are parents, but I have a 6-year-old, and I can tell you that was on the bottom side. Whew. So then the work from home is top and bottom. I hated it. I did not like working from home. It was difficult. It was challenging. I felt like I had to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because good grief, I'm home in my pajamas. But I have friends and family who loved working from home. Home delivery services were developed. Anybody use Instacart, DoorDash, any of those? Yeah. Then we have the fear and isolation started kicking in a big way. We started hearing about so many people being stuck in this experience of depression, anxiety, panic. A positive is the Zoom community. How many of you developed relationships around the country via Zoom? Wow, more than I thought. That's awesome. There's, of course, illness, deaths occurred. gathering internationally. It was the coolest thing to be able to be taking classes with people from South America, Africa, Europe, Canada, and the United States, all from the comfort of my home. I talked to many people who they had created these friendships that they felt were more powerful than their friendships here in person because they just dove deep into whatever topic they were exploring because they weren't afraid that they would see that person at the grocery store and be judged. Isn't that interesting? The ways that we become aware of limiting ourselves. Finally, one of the other positives is a deeper appreciation for our family, for our self-care, being able to be developing ourselves, learning new languages, learning to cook, right? So as we look at this, we're looking at an objective view of the loss. Being able to objectively say, yeah, this has been really hard. And there's been great gains and gifts from this experience, from this loss. So the next step in this method is to come to terms with the objectivity, the reality of the loss. And in divorce, often what winds up happening is someone gets to that romanticized period where they're looking back at their history with their partner, their spouse, and they say, oh gosh, I had it so good. And then if they map this, if they create this method of looking at it, they start seeing why it deteriorated. And all of a sudden, they can let go of that G word. Do you know what it is? It's not grief. It's guilt. Right on. It's guilt. Releasing that emotion of guilt that I should have, could have, would have. Reverend Ogun Holder, remember that name? He said, we should never should on one another. We should never should. We don't know the circumstance. So this allows us to move into the process of apology, apologizing to ourselves, apologizing to those around us, realizing that I wasn't equipped to deal with this grief in a healthy way, and now I'm starting to see objectively how I can. Finally, we can begin to forgive. We can forgive ourselves. We can forgive our partner who we've left behind. We can forgive our parent who made a transition even though they wouldn't take care of themselves the way that I asked them to. We can forgive our boss who had to make the tough decision to let us go. Because we are no longer caught up in this constant mind cycling that is the revolving door of the should-haves, could-haves, would-haves. Well, what if I would have told her I didn't get to say goodbye? We should have done counseling. All of these things that we look back on when we are in loss and we keep judging and we are in that G word of guilt, we're able to process through them. So, what's next? Well, I hope that these two grief explorations have inspired you to maybe start thinking, reflecting, what aspects of your life can you maybe take into this process? And there's so much more that you can maybe take into this process and release and come into healing, come into wholeness. and remember that you are, as Eleanor put it, fully divine, fully human. You are whole. And so it is.
Thank you. We are certainly blessed here at Unity of Wichita by the music, the message, the meditation, and love. Love for everyone here in the room and love for everyone at home. If you are so inspired to give an offering or a gift to our community, you can go online and donate at www.unityofwichita.org/donations. You can mail a check directly to the church or bring it by the church during regular business hours. Whatever amount you're guided to give this morning, electronic tithes, secure financial gift, just visualize that, hold it over your heart, and we'll say together our offering blessing. Divine love flowing from me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, all that I receive, and I am grateful. Amen.
Thank you so much, Patty. So, we need to talk about a couple of things. First of all, I am so excited to tell you that we are going to be returning to What If It All Goes Right this Monday. Woohoo! We are also going to be returning to our Transformed by Truth Spirit group. Sorry, I couldn't think about it. And I realized that I didn't take a picture of the announcements like I planned. It's been that kind of day. And so What If It All Goes Right? That's Monday night. We'll meet together for that. If you would like to come into this is a group all about shifting our awareness, right? So instead of saying, well, I'm going to go to this job interview, what if I spit my gum out and it falls on the person's lap? And what if they wind up looking at me like I'm crazy? And what if I have like a big zit that shows up? What if, oh my gosh, what if my toilet paper gets stuck to my shoe, right? We can, Donald says that would be pretty embarrassing. So instead of what if downing, this is a process of teaching us to what if up. What if I go into that job interview and they are so dazzled by me that they can't help but offer me the job right then and there, and it's going to pay more than what they listed, right? You guys aren't excited about that. I should see more like, yeah, okay. So then Transformed by Truth will be on Wednesday night. We also have the women's group happening on Wednesday afternoon. We have A Course in Miracles Wednesday morning. Don't forget the midweek meditation that is on Facebook and YouTube every week. And I know I'm jumping all around. Jessica's doing a great job of keeping up with me. Carol Radcliffe. Carol Radcliffe, let me tell you, this woman is on fire. So she is here every Tuesday morning working in that garden because, as you know, it kind of was neglected for a little bit while the building was empty. So if you guys have a green thumb, if you want to get out in the sun, if you want to get your hands dirty, join her Tuesday morning from 8 to 10. You can see her or call the office if you have additional questions. Let's see what's next, because I don't remember. Sorry, guys. Sorry. We will also be starting the Grief Recovery Handbook. Will be October 12th. So that gives you time to get the book, review it if you would like. There will be 2 opportunities, one in person and one on Zoom. These 2 opportunities are unique, because the one in person, we will be gathering with partners to process this together. The one on Zoom, we'll be gathering with partners to process together. And nope, you can't switch back and forth. Sorry. So with that, I want to remind us of one more thing. We're here gathered in this room and here online, and there's one group that we just don't talk about much anymore, and that's the youth department. I want us to remember and hold in our hearts Miss Kelly McFarland. We also want to remember Judith Huffman. Thank you for loving her anyway. Judith Huffman. We want to remember, Wilma. Thank you so much. Could see her face. We want to remember these people and know that they are supporting our youth department every single Sunday, and we are grateful. And Miss Vicki Howard, thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Guess what? Look who's on the piano.
Don't make me cry more, man.
Welcome back, Virginia.
Missed you guys.
We missed.
Looks beautiful.
All right. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for being the Sunday experience and inspiring us every week to do what it is that we do. And those of you who are watching online, thank you as well. You are the Sunday experience, and you are an inspiration to us every day. Now, at this time, we're going to go ahead and we are going to stand and affirm our prayer of protection. And then after we affirm our prayer of protection, we will be led into the peace song. So the prayer is there on the monitor. Let us affirm together. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love. The power of God protects us. I am the power. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
We'll see how this goes, all right? Little rusty. Is the mic on? Hello, hello? All right, cool. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our creator, loved ones all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, I'll take the highest vow to take each moment and give each moment peace eternally. Let there be been vaccinated. So
Yeah, I know. Me too. 3 times.